What is going on, folks? I am Goat. Welcome back to Warframe reshoots. Reshoots because of a hotfix. Thank fucking God, because of a hotfix. Now, nothing exemplary or mind-blowing here, but I'm going to read you basically what's going on per weapon here. So the fact of the matter is the first weapon is going to be the Prisma Gorgon. Now, the Prisma Gorgon, they remove the initial charge delay on Incarnon projectiles fired and replace it with an automatic trigger type. Basically, you hold the trigger and it does a way better version of what the original Gorgon Incarnon Genesis did to this. Basically, in other words, you can now hold the fire button input to continuously fire projectiles as long as the charge is available. The former 1.2 second charge delay is its new auto fire rate. It also adjusted projectile detonation times so that it better matches the fire rate of each variant. Base version having the longest, Prisma being the quickest, and Prisma would be the one I would recommend doing anyway. So, and that doesn't say a lot because honestly, it's still really fucking slow as far as its detonation time. So, I've got a ribbon for this. This and the bore I got well before I got the before these even released, but they were talking about it in the dev streams that they were coming. So I went ahead and just held on to these cracked but unrolled, or unveiled but unrolled ribbons to see exactly what they were going to do, so to figure out exactly what they needed. And this one's got a funky little quirk on it that you normally wouldn't see somebody take, but you can counter it pretty easily, I might add. So, Incarnon Transition, basically fire embedding projectiles that explode with heat damage. Basically, you're firing sticky bombs, okay? For anybody who doesn't know, basically you put grease on a piece of like demolition, Semtex, and then stick it to something. So that's a sticky bomb. You're firing these things. Evolution 2 on shield break, it's whatever. I'm gonna tell you right now, these weapons are fucking conservative as shit. Okay, as far as the damage numbers, as far as like the critical and the status and all these other things, they're very, very low percentage and very low additional base damage numbers. So honestly, I don't really think it fucking matters what you pick. I picked this because I was running it with Lavos and it was like, oh, whoop-de-doo, 13 for 8 seconds, 5 base, whatever. Minus weapon recoil. Now, I would just recommend it because the Incarnon side of this thing does have some fucking recoil. And then here we go with some nice conservative 6% crit. So how might I have 196.6 critical? My Riven's very friendly for this. 248.9 critical chance with a 95.6 fire rate. Now, normally, especially with the Gorgon, you would not want to do that because, yes, it's a wind-up fire rate, but this thing fires like a fucking crackhead now on the primary side of the gun. The Incarnon side is where the fire rate is really wanted. Just saying. But I also took a positive 58.1 weapon recoil. Now, the Gorgon had a little bit of recoil from the base side of the gun anyway, the Incarnon side very much so. But between the minus recoil on Evolution 3, stabilizer, which, especially if you're running Deadhead, you don't need stabilizer. You can just as simply, especially if you're not running a Riven, you can just simply go that route. Vigilante supplies, just as functional. Given the fire rate I've got, a 24.88, you could even go with a mutation mod if you need to, but it's got a pretty good pickup amount for the most part. But I mean, you're going for headshots, minus recoil, so you basically have a minus 100% recoil. So like steady hands is literally just useless. Of course. Oh yeah, that will fit. I'm sorry. So yeah, so like, if you should have a Riven that gives you recoil, this will just nullify it. This particular route of Arcane plus that evolution. Otherwise, the build is pretty much what you would expect. Truthfully, just base damage. It's a very low base damage weapon. Again, like your wild card mods, obviously the Riven is a wild card mod. The Hammer Shot is a wild card mod. You can go with Prime Shred. I mean, that's actually a pretty good option just for the punch through aspect of it. And then still turn around and run Hammer Shot, or kind of go your own way with it. You can run a heat mod on here if you want to, just to help amplify the heat aspect of the Incarnon side. I mean, there's a lot of shit that you can do to try to help bump up them rookie numbers, man. You know, I mean, just get her dead. You know, you can run galvanized scope, get some more critical chance if you really want to. There's a lot of things you can do. On the primary side, 197.6, and again, Riven, but 197.6% critical chance, 6.4 multiplier status is in the toilet. Doesn't matter. Now, the fire rate for the Incarnon form goes from my 24.88 down to a 2.05. It's extremely slow. Max charge of 20, critical chance of 181.1 with 6.4 multipliers, and still 37.8 status, no big deal, but it does have a radial attack of 5 fucking meters, and it has a 0.8 second embedded delay. So basically, it's almost a full second before the little sticky bomb thing explodes. So if you shoot the ground, enemies have a potential to run out of the area of effect of that 5 meter range and get the fuck away from it. If you shoot an enemy, it obviously stuck to them, just like the little meatball grenades. So it kind of is what it is. So we're just, yeah, and I'm sorry for the insane parkour I've got going on. I picked an invigoration for Lavos, which is actually quite hilarious. It's 200% ability strength and 75% parkour. Parkour! So yeah, so dodge rolls and bullet jumps gonna look real fucking funky. No, Lavos does not normally work like this.
The art of combat must be practiced.
Like, bullet jump!
The canvas of
sorry.
war.
Have a good time when I get this invigoration. That or when I get the ability strength and melee critical. I love that one. Or melee base damage. Or critical chance, I think it is. Okay, so we're just gonna make some friends. See, like, you can see me taking the stabilizer off there, there's actually still some recoil. Kaboom. So that's hitting an area. Here's hitting a person. Let's get into a little better area so we can actually see this. So let's hit this guy. Let's find one that's moving, actually. Hey. Can't help it's just destroying trash mobs. And of course I missed. Whole crowd of motherfuckers there. I just literally shot right through them. I mean, again, it's a Riven build. Without a Riven, like this thing desperately wants a Riven. I can tell you that much. Without a Riven, it's kind of okay. With a Riven, it's pretty fucking solid. See, I forgot there was a reason. Because there's like inherent recoil of the gun anyway, so 100% recoil loss doesn't take into account that Riven. You like that, motherfucker? And yes, obviously, as you see, it's self-staggering. Kind of good to hit them from a distance. The charred corpses of my enemies.
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area.
Hey, buddy.
Activating it will buy you more time.
Did you get off my balls? Oh, here, pardon me, my 3 seconds of reload time. There, hit this bitch in the pinky toe. I think I shot him in the head. Come on, parkour like this is absolutely stupid. Just look, heat guy. Have heat. Yeah, see, obviously he's getting ticked away with slash damage. Almost dodged out of that. Excuse me. It's alright. Welcome to the world of flying corpses. Oh, that's what I heard. An Arctic Eximus. Hey, buddy.
Another life support
How you doing?
capsule is now available.
I'm going for pure overkill at this point. Bro. Oh, mag prop me. What the fuck do I care? Here. Overkill to the max. Oh, well, he's already dead. Again, it's one of those, it fucking works. The embedded delay time is that it's a weird problem because you've got to really make sure, instead of just kind of doing the AoE go ham, throw shit everywhere kind of thing, you kind of have to really be mindful to actually hit the fucking enemies instead of just hip firing the shit out of it.
Tenno, prepare for life support. Life support has been replenished.
Well, see, my timing is perfect. Mania?
I've delivered another life support
Yeah, Mania's
capsule.
not a fan. Can we tell? It's that DOT tick damage, baby. If they survive, they really don't like it. So I got Eximus.
When you need it, extraction.
See, he's just getting ticked away, man. Just a good time. Oh, Paul. You see, man, this is where the parkour becomes absolutely hilarious, and feel free to giggle. Because I get kind of stupid when I get extra parkour on a frame like this, especially this much. God. You're like, parkour!
Life support incoming.
As you
But that's the
conquer
Prisma
foe,
Gorgon with a ribbon.
so
Without the
you
ribbon,
conquer
honestly, I would do
yourself.
like galvanized scope. It's going to increase your critical damage to equal out or even get higher than what I'm running. And that in itself is a good thing. Because truthfully, this gun was atrocious. My first shoot of this gun was literally just bashing the shit out of how horrible the fire rate was and just all sorts of problems. I mean, it was... And at a 1 point, I think it was like basically a 1 second charge time just to be able to fire, kind of like the Opticore Vandal. But then, like, about another 2 to 2.5 seconds before the little bomb went off. So there was basically like a 3 to 3.5 second window for this shit to literally explode, giving the enemies that funny Family Guy moment of going, I'm going to list lazily to the left, and miss being hit. So yeah, it was a really aggravating weapon. I still say that the numbers are very conservative, to say the least. Like, I don't understand why they are. They just went very tentative with the numbers. Like the Boar, not so much, but that was the only one of the 4 released newest releases that weren't just super conservative numbers. And you figure they wouldn't be when somebody has the opportunity to just plant by the damn things. So I don't know, man. Either way, that's the Prisma Gorgon. You can use the Gorgon Wraith if you really choose, or you can use the base Gorgon if that's all you got. Thankfully, you can remove it and just lose the resources. But just wait for Borrow to come around with a sumbitch and just buy it from Borrow, because it's far and away well worth using the Prisma Gorgon over the other versions. Excuse me. So, folks, I want to thank you very much for watching. As always, we'll catch you in the next one, all right?